Hello, we're live on a Pizza Metal Motorcast with your one and only Slayer Tanya, and with Eric Holmes, guitarist of Silence the Blind. What's up, Eric?
What's up?
Not much. What you doing, buddy?
Oh, headed home from a long day of work.
Oh, what do you do for a living?
I'm actually a project manager for a home improvement company.
Oh, nice. What do you do as a project manager?
Pretty much I babysit the crew. Sometimes they'll send me out on installs, window siding, roofing, stuff like that.
So you put in
Simple
windows?
stuff. Yeah, I do.
I need a new window.
Framing walls, do it all.
I need my walls rebuilt, and I need a window in my house.
Gotcha, I'm on my way.
Okay. So, introduce yourself and your band, and the band members to the audience.
Yeah, well, my name's Eric, as you mentioned, guitar player for Silence the Blind. Our drummer, Danny Boyko. Our singer is Jay. Our bass player is Frank Kennedy.
And
Out of, go ahead.
where are you guys from?
I was just about to mention that. We're out of Rockville, Maryland.
Nice. Now,
Yeah, been together now 9 years this month. Working on a new album right now, which is pretty exciting. It's definitely a big separation from our first album. Our first album was good, but it was a little bit more groove-oriented, very heavy thrashy, but a lot of groove. This album's really concentrated on a lot more brutal elements to it, a lot more old-school Cannibal Corpse kind of vibe, Napalm Death. You still have that Slayer influence there. So it's a lot going on. I mean, we've really stepped up our game and really trying to put something out there, again, that's not common in metal. We're definitely not like anybody else, that's for sure.
that's awesome, dude. So, tell me about when did you start playing the guitar?
I started when I was 14.
Is that the only instrument you
got
play?
What's that?
Is that the only instrument you play?
No, actually, I started playing drums, and my mom got tired of listening to me bang on the drums all the time, and threw my drums out in the trash, so I picked up guitar and never looked back.
That's
I've been
nice.
playing now, 30 years? Going on 30 years?
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah. I have my moments where I love it and hate it. So it's a love-hate relationship.
So were you self-taught, or did you do this on your own? Did someone teach you?
You know, I was actually self-taught. I learned by ear, listening to things, kind of figuring out, where the notes are and kind of progress from there. The one thing I didn't want to do, which I kind of regret it to a point now, just because there's certain patterns and stuff that's a little tricky for me, just because I have my own unique way of playing, but I didn't want to sound like everybody else that had lessons. I mean, that's the one thing that you hear a lot of is everybody plays the same phrasing, the same patterns, because everybody's, all these great musicians are all, self-taught. I mean, not self-taught, but, went through the training and all that, but they all sound the same. That's the one thing that I didn't want to be, is what everybody else is doing, playing how everybody else is playing, phrasing everything the same way. And to me, no matter how good it is or how talented they are, to me it gets a little stale, a little bit boring. It's too predictable.
Okay.
So, that's the one thing that I like about what we do, is there's no rhyme or reason for how we put a song together. I mean, if it sounds good, we make it work. And, whatever comes to mind, we just throw it out and we turn it into something heavy. Even if it starts off kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that, but once it all comes together, it's just great. I mean, I work with a great bunch of guys.
That's cool. So,
Yeah, it's been interesting.
so tell me about your how many albums you have out?
Right now we have one, which is called Dead Inside. That was our first CD we put out quite a few years ago, about 5 years, something like that. So, we've been kind of going through a reconstruction stage. One of the original members left and kind of everything got shifted around and another member moved to Florida. So another shift around trying to figure out what to do. But for the most part, the band's all original members, with the exception of our bass player. But he's been with us now for about going on 6 years now.
Okay.
So you might as well call him an original member at this point.
Do you guys have any singles out, EPs?
The only thing that we have out is the Dead Inside, which you can pretty much find on pretty much everything that's streaming. We also have our own Pandora radio station, which is pretty awesome. So if y'all listen to Pandora, just type in Silence the Blind. We have our own station, which was a pain in the ass to get, but we finally got approved after a year of going for it. We're on iTunes, Reverb, pretty much anything with their streaming music, we're there.
That's pretty
If you
awesome,
got
dude.
Comcast, we're even on whatever your metal channel is on your Comcast, we're even on there.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
Oh yeah, I bet it is. So, tell me, do you remember the first place you guys played at?
With this band, yes. It was actually, I got a little bit ballsy. The band got formed in 2009 in October, and it was actually started off as just a jam band with me and my brother. My brother wanted to learn how to play. I just, a few years prior, about 10 years prior to that, I left a band called PSI, which is now the members of Animals as Leaders. And I wasn't doing anything. My brother wanted to learn, so I was like, the hell with it, let's jam. And we start jamming. We're like, oh, man, stuff's coming together real quick. We need another guitar player. Okay. And then got another guitar player because, the way I write is for two guitars. Yeah. Then we were like, it's not full enough. We need a bass player, so we got a bass player. Then we're like, damn, now we need a singer. We were like, we were supposed to do this as jamming, but this is fun. So by November, we had the whole band formed, and I decided to throw us into a battle of the bands as our first show, which was pretty interesting. So we did the Battle of the Bands at which the club's no longer around now, but it was called Jack's over in Springfield, Virginia. And out of, I think it was 32 bands or something like that, we ended up tying for third place. So not too bad. Not too bad for our first, few shows. But it was pretty awesome. I can't complain. Got a lot of recognition from that show, so a lot of respect, that's for sure.
So how's your fan base and where you guys live?
What's that?
How's the fan base?
Our fan base used to be super, 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 super solid. I mean, we pretty much sold out wherever we went. But then, unfortunately, the way the world is today, you voice your political opinion and everybody gets all butthurt and then wants to hate on you for it because you're not either liberal or Democrat. So, they a lot of them kind of turn their backs on us because of our political views.
So,
but for the most part, our fan base is still strong. It's just a different group of people now.
So, what is your take on the Antifa's attacking the metal bands?
Man, I think everybody should smash Antifa in the ground. Personally.
Hey, we're not condoning violence here. We're patriots. We're very peaceful people.
With pillows, then. So they're not getting hurt. How about that?
Yeah,
I'm not really condoning violence by no means, but Antifa needs to go.
Yeah, they need to be arrested because they're terrorists within the United States.
I agree. It's domestic terrorism.
No shit. And they come out with masks and all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's just the shit's a joke. I mean, it's really a joke. I don't understand why they're even allowed. I mean, I get the freedom of speech, and I'm all for that. I'll stand by that to the day I die. But there's, when you're a hate group and you're out there causing violence, I mean, you're no longer, expressing your First Amendment right. Now you're getting into, hate speech and terrorism.
You're committing crimes, and crimes is a federal offense.
Yes.
Now,
it needs to be stopped.
Now, where did you come up with the band name? How'd you guys come up with the band name?
Well, me and my brother were talking one day. This is when we first started, realizing we were actually forming a band.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was derived from religious aspects and political aspects. And we were trying to figure out what to call it. You know, believe it or not, the band was originally called, I can't even think of the name of it. It's actually Rise Against.
Okay.
And this is before I even knew there was a band called Rise Against. And I was like, shit, it's already taken. Can't take it. I like the name because it was a real big statement. So we were talking and going back and forth, and we were having a religious conversation, a political conversation, and it just came out. You're fucking blind. And I was like, silence.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait a minute, there's something there. You know, I started thinking about that, and I was just like, blind silence. I was like, silence the blind. And he was like, oh, I like that. I was like, yeah, I kind of like that too. So, you know, the blind part is not for the impaired or anything like that, so please don't send us any more hate mail. We did it all the time.
Okay.
Or we used to. It's, you know, blind is more of a metaphor for ignorance, not seeing things for what it is, you know, just the whole scope of it. So, essentially, it's kind of like saying, shut the fuck up, you know, being silenced the blind. Silence the stupidity, the ignorance, you know, the hate, the everything.
So, what kind of biblical terms would your band be towards? What kind of,
well,
Bibles?
We were more or less talking about, like, some of these evangelists, you know, these fake people that get up there and talk about praising God and all this stuff, but then give me your money, give me your money, give me your money. You know what I mean? Just the fakeness within the hypocrisy within some of the church. You know, that's kind of where it all, you know, kind of started, which hence to one of our songs called Not God's Will. That was an actual, you know, pretty good song. It was just talking about the hypocrisy in the church, you know, the touching of the kids, and, you know, how churches, a lot of churches, I'm not going to say all of them, but a good amount of them, you know, it's about the money, not really spreading the word of what it's for. And that's kind of what we were talking about, and kind of how it all derived from there.
That's cool. So, what do you, this is a little bit off subject, but what do you think about this?
Okay.
What do you think about this QAnon?
The what?
Do you follow Q?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. So you don't know about QAnon.
Yeah, no, explain it. I'll put my 2 cents in for what it's worth.
Okay, well, QAnon theory started after Donald Trump last year on October 5th called "It's the calm before the storm." And October 5th last year, he said that. Then October 28th, QAnon was born. It was born on the forum boards, like 4chan, 8, and it went from 4chan, went to 8chan. And then they started a couple websites with QAnon drops. With these drops, they inserted with all the truth about Hillary, Uma, Podesta, the FISA abuse, and all the history and the facts that's been going on, and how everybody committed all these crimes and stuff, and that pedophile and child trafficking, human trafficking, and Haiti and all that bullshit.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I would rather, before I make a comment on something I'm not real, like, hip on, I'd rather kind of look into it a little bit without, you know, so I don't make a comment out of context or, you know, talk about something that I'm not really abreast on, you know what I mean? I don't like doing that. I don't like making comments about something that I'm not up to par on. I think it's just part of the problem with, you know, the states today is everyone's so quick with their opinion when they don't know shit. And I don't want to be one of those people. I'd rather be an educated person on what I'm speaking about than just shooting at the hip just to be cool, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I've been into this QAnon theory a long time, since October 28th. So I'm going to suggest to you qmap.pub. Go there and read all the drops.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out tonight.
There's 2,381 drops worth of reading. I'm going to tell you, you got to read these. I mean, your eyes will be amazed. I mean, you'll be shocked to what you'll learn.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in, you know, in checking it out.
Okay, now let's get back to your music. Now, prior to this band and prior to PI, what other bands were you in before that?
Um, the band, I've already been in a few bands, to be honest with you. Of course, you know, STB being my latest band. Before that, I was in a band called PSI, like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
which came out of, you know, the DC area,
Yeah.
which eventually had kind of broken up back in 2001. I think it was 2001, right after we did the Texas Death Fest.
Okay.
And, you know, the members from that band ended up going on to form what everybody knows now as Animals as Leaders. So pretty much, you know, Javier and Tosin used to be in my band PSI.
Okay.
Which is pretty awesome. You know, I'm glad that they've really, you know, got some success going for them.
That's awesome.
Before that was another band called Prolonged Exposure, which I wasn't a huge fan of the name, but, you know, I didn't name the band. I just joined them.
Okay.
But that actually ended up, half of those members actually ended up in PSI, which was kind of weird. So it was like every band that I've been in has pretty much been an offshoot. So it started off Prolonged Exposure, which turned into half of PSI, then half of PSI turned into Animals as Leaders, and the band that I'm in now. So the other guitar player was actually one of the members of PSI too.
Oh,
if
that's cool.
anybody remembers the band Decapitated from
Oh, I remember
DC,
Decapitated.
That's where the came from.
I remember Decapitated.
Yeah, so we actually have the original drummer from that band.
Nice.
And my bass player came from a band called Harsh. I'm sorry, not Harsh. My brain's tired right now.
Brain fart.
Hybrid.
I heard a hybrid.
Hybrid.
So, tell me about your new album that you guys are working on. How many songs is it going to be, and how long will it be?
We plan on having it released early next year. The drums are pretty much already tracked out. I'm actually started on it this week, working on guitars. So we plan on by early next year having it done. There should be in between 8 and 10 songs on there. We're still not sure what we want to do with it, because some of the songs are all new. Two of them were supposed to be on the last album, but we don't really want to put it on the new album because we want the new album to be all the new stuff. So we were thinking about just releasing the 8 that are going to be on this album and, you know, putting out a 3-song EP. It's just like a little freebie, a little promotional thing.
Okay.
You know, but it's oh man, it's intense. I mean, it's really intense. I started off with the slowest song that we have, and I say slow because of how fast our other stuff is now. But
yeah.
And even that, man, I got the guitars tracked out for it the other night, and it just makes you want to just smash windows. It's intense.
It's so
very
cool.
intense. I'm excited. I'm really excited to get this album done, and you know, just get this thing out so people can hear it. I mean, it's really impressive.
So did you guys just? When was your last show you guys played?
Our last show, we've actually been kind of taking it easy this year so we can start concentrating on the album. Our last show was roughly about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And that was, I want to say it was in Virginia.
Who'd you guys play with?
We actually played, it was in Frederick, Maryland. We actually run a charity event every year. It's called In It for the Kids. We raise money for sick kids. This year we did just over 18,000 raised.
Oh my God.
Played with a
That's
band
so cool.
called, it was really, really awesome. We have so many sponsors that back it. iHeartRadio, they back us. Radio station out here, DC 101, they're one of our big supporters. Jackson Guitars, Sonar Drums, Sabian, Zildjian, Audio Technica, Shure. Man, the list goes on of all the companies that donate items for us to raffle off, and we donate 100% of that money, you know, to the charity. So, man, that's pretty awesome. But to answer the original question of who we played with, there was 8 bands on the bill. I feel so bad because I'm not going to remember all of them. But Sniper Members of Babel was one of them. If y'all have not heard them, oh my God, you've got to hear them.
I heard of them.
Y'all may know them by Audio Terror Regime. Some of the members were in that band years back. Another insane band, female front person. I can't even talk today. Oh my gosh, so good. Optimus Prime.
Oh, I love Optimus Prime.
They are so insane. Those are really good friends of ours. They are so good.
Wait. I was just thinking about Optimus Prime off of Transformers. Sorry. I'll check out that band, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, but check them out too. They are insane.
I'll probably get them on my show too. Okay, so have you guys played with any big bands out there? The biggest.
Yeah, we actually for all the old heads out there, we actually co-headlined the show at the Howard Theater in D.C. with Puya, which was pretty awesome. We've played with Veil of Maya. We've played with Animals as Leaders. We co-headlined a show with our good friends, Internal Bleeding. Let's see who else. The Red Chord. We've played with. Oh man, the list goes on and on. Damn, what the hell? Malevolent Creation, which was pretty awesome.
I love
Malevolent
Creation.
Yeah, I know. It was so funny because I hadn't seen those guys in years from when I was with PSI. And the last time we played together was Milwaukee Death Fest back in 2001.
I think Dave has their vinyl.
Oh, really?
It's in a storage.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I believe he has a vinyl.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we're in Baltimore, and this was 2004, I think it was.
Oh, nice.
And we're sitting there, me and the drummers looking at each other, and we're like, "Damn, we know each other." You know, I was like, "I know you from somewhere." And he kind of, chuckled because of who he is, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a drummer." I was like, "What band?" He's like, "Malevolent Creation." I was just like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Eric, PSI," and he was just looking at me strange. And I was like, "We did Milwaukee Death Fest." I was like, "You don't remember the guy that was thrown up in the back of the camper?" And he kind of laughed his ass off. I was like, "Yeah, that was me." I was like, "I can't hang with you guys. You guys drink too much." And he was just like, "Oh, yeah, not too many people can hang with us." But it was kind of cool kind of catching up, and it's sad that I had to remind him of who I was, by throwing up in the back of the camper. But it jogged his memory. You remember who I was at that point.
That's awesome. I just, so I have a YouTube channel. This is totally off subject. I have a YouTube channel, and it's kind of political. There's a YouTube channel. I have its political channel. And I was sharing a video of a caravan, and a liberal commented, he's like, "I reported you," and then I copied that, and I sent it to the White House, a message to the White House. I told them, this person has been threatening me, and because I've noticed this person been commenting on a couple of my videos, and he's been threatening me. And I just got an email from the White House.
No way.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. They're going to look into this guy.
That is pretty insane.
They're going to look into this guy. See? They're protecting us all around.
Yeah, I see that.
So, let me ask you something. What's your favorite club to go watch a show at?
Honestly, I would have to say one of my favorites would probably be 611 over in Frederick, Maryland.
Frederick, Maryland. 611.
Man, they've got some of the best metal shows, point blank period, that happen there. I mean, not just metal. I mean, they dabble in a few things here and there, but for the most part, it's a metal venue. They even had a Junkyard Band, if anybody out there likes go-go, which for me, I'm an old DC head. That's where I kind of was born and raised in that general area. So,
yeah.
For me, that's kind of like, goes back many years. But even they had Scarface there, which was pretty awesome. But for the most part, it's a big metal venue. Everyone from, Crowbar to Dying Fetus. I saw them there twice, which was pretty awesome. Which was really awesome because that was the first time I'd seen Sean from Dying Fetus since I was like 17, 18 years old, because we grew up in the same neighborhood. And he used to give me bass lessons when I was trying, and I quote, trying to play bass for a band, years ago. I sucked as a bass player. Absolutely sucked. But he was trying to give me little pointers and stuff. This is way before Dying Fetus. At the time, he was in a band, Sadistic Torment. But yeah, that was kind of cool catching up with him there. But yeah, 611 would probably be my favorite place of all times for right now. A lot of the cool spots done closed up, which is a shame.
That is pretty cool. So, let me ask you this. Your fondest memory since you started this band?
Fondest memory? Trying to think of what my fondest memory would be. Would probably be we played a show at this place called Growlers in Gaithersburg. This was about 7 years ago. And they were just kind of treading, they had some kind of heavy rock bands in there before, but never done a metal show. So they gave us a shot to put the show together. Well, the place was sold out. We headlined it. I mean, it was elbow to elbow in there. There was probably 100 people outside waiting to get in, but, it was already packed to capacity. And when we started off, we played the song called Violence Erupts. And sure enough, violence erupted. The pit broke out so big, there was chairs going side to side, tables side to side. I actually had to jump up to keep my legs from getting hit from bodies being knocked up on the stage. I mean, it was so intense. Needless to say, we got banned from that place. We have not stepped foot back in that place since.
That's crazy, man. I can imagine that.
That was pretty awesome. That was really, really awesome. I mean, just the love that we got from that place. I mean, that I don't know. It'd be a cross between that show and when we did Summer Slaughter tour. We were playing one of the side stages. Vital Remains was playing on the main stage. So when we went on, right before we went on, we heard Vital Remains is on. So half of the people left the room. And then about 5 minutes later, twice as many people flooded right back in. So it was just like, holy shit, we're up against fucking Vital Remains. And we just fucking packed this fucking back room.
Wow.
This is fucking insane, you know what I mean? I was like, fucking Vital Remains, really? People would rather come and hear us than Vital Remains? That was a big memory, memorable show right there.
Wow. So, I have a distant memory from 2010 in Chicago at Reggie's. There was this band playing. I forgot the name of the band. Anyways, they had like a dummy playing on the drums. That was a computer dummy.
Nice.
And
that's cool.
And it's like a little puppet, like a puppet dummy. Anyways, so there was a mosh pit going on, and it got violent. And I saw one of the guys get pushed against the wall, and then the cops came in, and I was videotaping this stuff, and I was taking pictures of it. And a couple of my pictures actually ended up on a metal news site of,
That is pretty cool.
I got noticed. I was like, oh, cool. Then Dave, how he videotapes concerts and stuff. He videotapes Shadows Fall and remember God Forbid back in the day?
Oh, I love God Forbid.
Oh yes, I love them too. They're still my friends. Those guys. I still have Dallas's. It was Dallas's wristband.
Oh, sweet.
He was at the concert in Dundee, West Dundee. I forgot the name of the place that they played at. See, I haven't been to shows for a while, so my memory's kind of triggered from that because it's been so political right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Politics and control and everything. The shit the Democrats are doing. Leave us alone, man. Let us go back living our lives. Let us be. Leave it alone. Let Trump let Trump fix America. Let him fix America. Stop causing trouble, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, if you're fucking up, call them out. If you're doing good, call him out, whether you like him or not. I was not the biggest Obama fan. By no means was I a big Obama fan. But when he did do something that was pretty good, I would admit, say, hey, you know what? I think he's a douche, but that was a good move he just did.
Well,
Many times I've said that.
There was nothing really that he did that was good. I've noticed. 8 years.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I did realize, with him, because I'll be honest, I'm not even going to, lie and bullshit by no means. I was for his first term. I was ready for a change like he spoke of. I was ready for someone to get in that, hadn't been into politics very long, which I thought anyway. And, I was ready for a change in what we'd had in office. So, I was like, you know what? I'm all for it. Go ahead. But he didn't do shit his first 4 years. And then the last 4 years, he fucked a lot of things up. And people want to praise him like he's, like
he's
this country's savior.
A king.
What's that?
They want to praise him like he's a king.
Yeah, and when you really look at it, that man did so much damage, social damage, just, alone. He screwed a lot of things up.
And he said, no ketchup on hot dogs. Fuck out of here with that shit.
What's that?
He said no ketchup on hot dogs.
Yeah, you can't trust somebody that don't like ketchup on hot dogs.
Well, he eats hot dogs himself.
Ketchup on hot dogs.
He likes hot dogs in his mouth himself.
I don't doubt it.
So, anyways, what are the... Let's go back to the music thing. So, what are the pros and cons... Okay. What are the pros and cons in the music industry?
Pros and cons. The cons, I'll start with that.
Okay.
The cons are the music scene has gotten way, 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 way too political. What music was about before is no longer about that anymore. To where, I'll give you an example. I got beat up online because I posted up a gore picture on a metal website. On a metal website. It got super, I could tell, and I mean this respectfully, but come on, if it's an apple, it's an apple. I could definitely tell it was one of the new liberal metalhead type things going on, and I just got bashed about posting up gore on a metal site. I'm like, come on, this is what metal is. It's gore. When you look into the death metal aspect of it, not saying all metal's gore, but what the fuck do you think death metal is and gore metal and all that stuff? If I'm on that type of a page and I post up something gory, and it wasn't like somebody that, blown their brains out or anything like that. It was a cartoon picture of like an album cover. And people got their butt hurt because I was posting up horrific pictures. It's like, oh, wow. So parts of the cons is people don't support people like they used to. The bands, back in the early days, and I say early days like the 90s, which isn't that far off, but things have changed a lot. Bands used to support bands. When one band was starting to rise up through the ranks, they would pull their friends up with them. Now, you can't even get the band paying on the bill, not only to show up on time, but to stand there and support the other bands, more or less stick around. A lot of these guys, they play the shows, and they jump in their car and leave. And they want to complain that there's no metal scene. Right. Oh, the scene's dead. Well, you're part of the problem. If you're not going to stick around and support the same people that are there to support you, then you're never going to have a scene. The scene will never grow unless we all put the effort into it. You can't just think the scene's great because you showed up and you played and you left. That's what's hurting the industry. Promoters, these new promoters that are out there, that with these pay-to-play gigs is ridiculous. That's another thing that's hurting, that is a big con on the music scene today.
We need to get rid of the pay-to-play gigs. Because they're not doing nothing.
Get rid of what?
Get rid of the pay-to-play gigs. We need to get rid of that shit. Because it's not really doing anything for the metal scene.
No, it's not. Don't get me wrong. Some of the shows that we have set up, we've done ticket sales for. But the way that, like, for example, when we had internal bleeding.
Yeah.
We had internal bleeding. We had deceased. We had damn, I'll remember their name here in a minute. But the way we would do those ticket sales is here's 50 tickets. Just sell 12 of them for us. Anything you sell after 12 is 100% yours. Some of these bands were walking away with the biggest paydays they've ever had, $600-700, for one show that they played because they sold tickets. Now, I never asked if you couldn't sell, there was never an issue because the ticket minimum was so low, and it was only $12 a ticket.
Yeah.
$12 a ticket at 12 tickets as a minimum, and you keep the rest is not a bad deal. You're not having to pay for the tickets if you can't sell them, but at the same time, if you can't get 12 people out to your show, then there's no reason to jump on a big bill. So I mean, this whole pay-to-play thing is garbage, and we've been accused of doing that with that, but we don't do a pay-to-play. Yes, we may ask you to do a few tickets with a minimum, just because we try to put shows together, big shows together, that bands normally wouldn't have that opportunity to play. So instead of us going, okay, we need you to sell 50 tickets, each one of you guys, all 5 bands of you, so we can pay these guys, that's bullshit to us. I mean, we try to keep it a low minimum to where you're actually going to make the money. We don't make money off the bands when we set shows up, because we also do promotions and stuff on the side. We do this 100% for free, and sometimes it's even costing out of our own pocket to give these bands an opportunity to play with some of the bigger bands in the area. Even some of the national bands that come through that, I'm friends with or my drummer's friends with, we try to give them an opportunity to do things that a normal promoter wouldn't allow you to do. A lot of these guys want you to sell 50 tickets as a minimum. I think that's garbage because realistically, out of those 50 tickets, 35 of it is profit for the guy. For the promoter. And when you times that by sometimes 10 bands, I mean, he's making a killing off of the band's hard work. If you're going to do hard work and sell tickets for us, we want you to make 90% of that money. And the only reason why we take anything back out of it is only to cover the cost of the show. Paying the band, paying for the venue, paying for the sound. That's why we keep it usually at a 12 to 13 ticket minimum we don't do no national act show, no higher. I think the highest we've ever had was $13.
Okay.
Now, where are you going to go see internal bleeding and deceased on one show for $13?
You'd be lucky if you get that price. It's like $30, $40.
Either one of those bands for $13.
It's usually like $50 a ticket or more.
Right, exactly. So we try to make it super affordable to be able to get people to come out to where it's not breaking the bank. And the bands that are doing the hard work to get rid of their tickets, they're going to benefit from it, not us. We don't want to make money off of you.
So let me ask you this. How many websites can your band be found on?
I know we're on Reverb Nation, of course. We're on Facebook, of course.
Do you guys have a YouTube?
We have a YouTube, thank you. I was thinking, I know we've got more. I just can't think of it right now.
Do you guys have a Twitter?
We have a Twitter, but to be honest, I don't think our ex-guitar player's wife used to run the Twitter page. I don't even have a Twitter myself. So I tried to get on there to run it one day, and I was absolutely confused on what the hell to do, so I didn't even bother with it.
Do you guys have Instagram?
What's that?
Do you guys have Instagram?
Instagram, same way. We do have an Instagram, but it hasn't been updated or anything like that because none of us in the band know how to really navigate through it and do anything. So
okay. Do you guys have an online?
We need somebody.
Do you guys have an online store?
We did at one point, and then when we went to, we used to have the, silencetheblind.com, but then we started revamping everything. We took the online store down. We started to do a lot of, rearranging with it, but never put it back up entirely. So that's actually one of the things that we just talked about a month ago in one of our little meetings is, how we're going to get back to getting things the way they used to be. And the networking aspect and the marketing aspect. So that's something that hopefully in 2019 it will be a whole new, band page up with the merch store and all that stuff. So if if there's anything that anybody wants, just go to our Facebook for now or Reverb and just send us a message and like, hey, I'm interested in your stuff. You can definitely go and check out the first album, for free on Pandora or iTunes. And hey, if you guys want the album for free, just send us a message, and we'll send you a download link for it.
Okay. So let me
we'll give it to you for free.
So let me ask.
Don't buy it. Hit us up. We'll send you codes.
Oh yeah, they'll hit you up free. So let me ask you.
Yep.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, believe it or not, is a damn steak and cheese. God damn, I love steak and cheeses.
Oh my God, I made meatballs today, meatball stew.
Oh man.
I was torturing people with Facebook.
Too.
I was torturing people with Facebook Live videos about it. It smelled so fucking good.
Oh man, I'm so fucking hungry right now.
So,
oh man, now I want a steak and cheese.
Anyways, yeah, this is like a Middle Eastern style food because, yes, I am Middle Eastern, Greek, and German, and I'm American first, but those are my customs. And no, okay. I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian Orthodox.
Okay, doesn't matter.
I'm Assyrian, not Syrian, Assyrian. Family, Baghdad, okay. Iraq, all that bullshit. That's another history.
Gotcha.
So we got 4 minutes left for the show. Now, what would your message be for the conservatives out there? Get out and vote red, right? Get out and vote.
Get out and vote red, man. Get out and vote. That's the main thing.
We need to win this election.
Just stand your ground.
We need to win this election. Because
we don't have a choice to.
We need to win it. This is it.
We have to. Right now, to me, the way I see everything is, right now it's going to be a big turning point. If it goes blue,
we're fucked.
In any faction,
we're fucked.
We're pretty much screwed. Yeah, we are. We are. Because, I don't like to point fingers and say all the Democrats are bad, because we have some fucked up cruddy Republicans in office, too. But what the Democrats are trying to do, and this is just my view, they're really trying to disassemble this country and what it stands for and the great values that it has. And to me, that's unacceptable. And the only way to keep that from happening is keeping them out of office. And, I'd vote for a Democrat. I really would. But you'd have to be a really right-swinging Democrat. And you cannot be these typical Democrats that we have in office right now that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And that's the problem that I have with the Democratic Party right now.
Hold on. And these Democrats right now are pursuing violence upon us. They're promoting violence, especially with Maxine Waters and Eric Holder saying, "Oh, when they go low, we kick them." Or with Cory Booker, I'm Spartacus, or Kamala Harris, or with what the fuck's face? Joe Biden, then ex-President Obama. Then all that bullshit, man. Just a whole list. Oh, Rosie O'Donnell claiming, "Oh, we should send the military to take out the president." Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well, this is what I was talking about, how Obama really destroyed, the social aspect. He planted too many bad seeds to create what we have now with all this violence towards Republicans and anybody that doesn't agree with, with their viewpoint. Now, don't get me wrong, I know it's been like that for years, but it has really been kicked into high gear, since his last 3 years in office, once he started promoting, what I saw as a lot of racial divide.
Oh yeah.
That is what was the beginning kickoff of the downward spiral of society, was his racial divide. Once he did that, all hell started hitting the fan.
Oh my God.
Things start coming out more than what any of us has ever seen. I've seen a lot. I'm only 43, but I've seen a lot politically happen in these past few years. And I can personally say that I've never seen anything as destructive as what he did his last few years to society. He
inserted Islam.
Yes, you're right.
He backed and protected Islam.
I'm right there with you. And you know, it's not that I have anything, you know, against, the Muslim faith or
No.
anything like that. I mean, I know a few people that are
Yeah, they're
Muslims, and they're
good.
some of the nicest damn
Yeah, they're
people
good.
I have ever met in my life.
Yeah, there's some good Muslim people.
But
Yes.
there are, I mean, there's good and bad in every
Mhm.
faction of the human race. You
Mhm.
know, so I mean, to sit there and say one particular bunch is worse than the other, I mean, you're a fool your damn self, which hence the band Silence the Blind.
Uh huh.
But the Muslim aspect of what he supports is not the good side of things.
No.
And that's one of the big problems. I mean, you can see it by look at the people he appointed. And I brought this up before to somebody. Look at a lot of the people that he put in
Brennan.
office.
Valerie Jarrett.
I mean, look, I was just about to mention her. Now, how can you get up there and sit there and say that you're